Secretary of State Blinken canceled his trip to China because of it at the time. McCall writes, however, that lower-level state officials have not been forthcoming about possible sanction delays in violating human rights or concerns over slow-walking additional export controls on the Chinese telecom company Huawei.
Runs on a delay, so if you see yourself and don't line up, it's on like a 7-second delay.
15 persons have been found dead as a result of the floods that wreaked havoc across northern Italy last week, and the funerals of the victims have begun. Italy is not out of danger, as a red alert was put in place this morning for further flooding. The country has earmarked over $2 billion for recovery, but it seems it won't be enough. Many homes have been damaged, some beyond repair. And
I'm not going to intro it. I'm just going to give it straight to you.
Sounds great.
And you just say, hey, this is Brenda.
When you point at me, I'll go.
23,000 people have been displaced.
Because it's your show.
Millions of trees and plants have been damaged. And there are some concerns of disease breeding now in the stagnant waters that have yet to recede.
You got 25 seconds.
The Target is removing certain items from its stores and making other changes to its LGBTQ plus merchandise nationwide ahead of Pride Month. The move comes after an intense backlash from some customers, including violent confrontations with its workers. The company saying that other products are currently under review. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
This is Brandon Taylor, the chairman of the Lawrence County Republican Party. And for the next hour, you're going to be listening to me and Mr. Lawrence Sutton, our secretary of the party. We're going to be discussing local politics. We're going to be taking phone calls. And we're going to be actually getting the opinion of those of you that are out there, maybe new members. We're hoping you'll start calling in. Lawrence, I'm glad you're here with me today.
Hey, great to be here, Brandon. Great to be able to help represent the Republican Party and Lawrence County. It's real important that we, come together and give our Christian Judeo values, and to be more, to me, it's more important to be biblically correct than politically correct.
All right, I agree 100%. Last night we had a great meeting. We saw our membership grow by almost 20 members picked up in one night. That's on an odd year.
Yes.
Not during election season. Folks are getting really motivated. They want to get involved. We see what's going on in the news, and we want to have a say in this country, in our state, and also in this county. So starting out right out of the gate, I want to ask our new members, maybe you're thinking about joining, maybe you've been a member for a while, but especially those that have recently joined up in the Republican Party, I want to ask you to call in and explain to others why you've joined recently. What sparked your interest? Why did you get involved? Our phone number here is 931-766-9393. We look forward to hearing from you. I know last night at our meeting we had the Tennessee Firearms Association, Lawrence, and we had an awesome meeting there with Richard Archie speaking. I saw a fired up crowd. People are motivated. They're upset with what's going on in our state, but I think that we're seeing a conservative movement across this country. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared. I'm not going to stick my head in the sand. I'm not going to go run and hide. I think the time is to unite and get this county united, and I think people are ready to do that.
Well, I'll tell you, that's one of the things that I'm seeing that even came from our county commission meeting last night. I was there listening to it, and we actually had a couple of very important votes, at least to me they were important, and resolutions that our county commissioners, along with our county executive, David Morgan, spearheaded. One of the things that I saw that happened was a resolution that David Morgan did about what's happening right now in the state with them talking about red flag laws.
Yeah, what's the key points on that?
Well, the key points was that David said is that we're going to have absolutely no red flag laws here in Lawrence County.
All right.
We are 100% Second Amendment. There will be no infringement on the Second Amendment. I mean, it was a pretty lengthy resolution, and he hit all of the bullet points that I saw. But the main thing that people need to know is that he is a constitutional Second Amendment county executive. And I'm going to tell you what, I am going to our county commissioners, they didn't even have a roll call vote on it. All of our county commissioners went through and they all said yes.
Wow.
And I tell you, that's impressive.
It is.
And then we also had another come up that was right after that. And I want to take a little bit of time to brag on. We had Barry Luffman, we had David Ray, and then Travis Caldwell.
Yeah.
They had put in a resolution. And I just want to go over this resolution a little bit because we didn't have a unanimous support on this resolution. But to me, it was as important as the gun resolution was.
That's right.
And what it was is that they wanted to say that all people in Lawrence County, they share an inevitable right to life, liberty, and pursuit and happiness. And the Constitution prohibits the restriction of any free exercises of religion. And where they were going with this was what happened with the pandemic. And a lot of our counties in the state of Tennessee and across the country, they shut down.
That's right.
They shut down businesses.
Unconstitutional.
They decided what business could fail and what business could succeed. But I tell you what, our county didn't do that.
That's right.
And Murray County didn't do that. And I tell you what, to me, that was very, very important. But what these three gentlemen did is that they say that we as a county are going to restrict nobody when it comes to the opening of a business, when it comes to the opening of a church even. And you know specifically what happened, with people trying to shut down churches, even here in Lawrence County.
That's correct.
So that was one of the first things on this resolution was the churches and the businesses. And then it was also about personal choice, whether somebody wanted to wear a mask or not to wear a mask, whether somebody wanted to take the vaccine or not to take the vaccine. Not only for the county residents, but even the county employees.
So I wasn't there at the meeting, but what was the attitude of just maybe the citizens that were there in the meeting? Were there many people attending that? Just citizens sitting in? There
were some. There wasn't a lot of citizens there, but there was some. I would say there was probably 15 or 20 there. To me, the reaction was wow.
Mm-hmm.
It really looked like that everybody was like, hey, this is being talked about. We as a county are going to come out and say that we are for freedom.
Right.
And I just want to, like I said, we did not have a unanimous support on that one, though.
Are you going to read the roll call?
I will read the roll call on this.
Well, before you do it, I want to invite people to start calling in if they want to talk about, because we've got a lot of feedback last night during our meeting, people coming up and talking to us, Lawrence. Once we finished out that meeting, they were just thankful that we're actually doing this, talking about some of these topics. And Lawrence County, I believe, is about an 82% conservative. We should be running one of the strongest GOP parties in the state, and we're working toward that. I'm seeing the snowball effect is actually taking off. So our phone number here is 931-766-9393. Call in. We want to hear from you. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. Even if you don't agree with us, you know what? Call in. I want to talk to you. I would love to debate some of these things.
Absolutely.
Go ahead with that roll call. What do you have?
Okay, so here's what I have. I just want to kind of hit some of the highlights on this, because it's not just a Second Amendment thing on the resolution that David Morgan did. And I will say this about David Morgan. David Morgan is the one that took this and upon himself. There wasn't even though all the commissioners agreed, David is the one that said, I'm doing this for our county.
Right.
And he's the one that took the bull by the horns and got the resolution wrote, and it's going to be sent to Bill Lee.
Awesome.
So, but this one on our freedoms, so is Lawrence County, it says Lawrence County government recognizes that churches and other centers of worship are essential. That Lawrence County government recognizes and declares that individual health decisions are best decided between a patient and their health care provider. Not Anthony Fauci, not our
I
government.
thought that's what liberals keep saying now anyway. Keep it between the patient and the healthcare provider. They say that.
You mean
until it
my
comes
body,
down to
my
the-
choice?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, my body, my choice. Yeah, but that's only for the people
Right,
when it comes
right.
to abortion
That's right.
on children.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but it's just we see the double standard all the time.
Yes, sir. I agree. Lawrence County government recognized that both mask mandates and mandatory lockdowns can lead to physical and psychological harm for citizens, which I thought was really insightful, that they had added that.
Now, who put this forward?
Okay, so who put this forward was Barry Luffman, Dave Ray, and Travis Coswell.
Thank you, guys. I want to say thank
Absolutely.
you right now, publicly, out loud. Thank you for doing this.
And I think David Ray is your county commissioner, isn't
Absolutely, he is.
he? Yeah.
Out there on the West End community.
Yep.
Yep.
And we also had a couple of years ago, my county commissioner and Tammy Wisdom, and my county commissioner is Philip Heatherly. We had that Second Amendment sanctuary.
That's right.
And Philip Heatherly and Tammy is the one that had led that to happen. It's been probably 2 years ago that
That's
happened.
exactly right. That's right. We were a big part of that.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were. It's kind of the first time we got involved in politics,
That's
I
right.
think.
What else was in it?
Okay, so Lawrence County government will not mandate any mask at any county-owned property, including but not limited to school buildings, county government offices. So that was another one. That Lawrence County government, including its department heads, will not discriminate among county employees with regards to vaccination status, including but not limited to paid sick leave and time off. And Lawrence County government will not allocate any resources of any kind in the enforcement of unconstitutional mandates issued by the federal government or the state of Tennessee.
Wow. That's awesome. That came from our county commissioners right here in Lawrence County. I love it.
Amen.
What was the roll call on that? I want to hear it.
Okay, so the roll call was and I'm going to read it from 1 to 18.
Okay.
Okay, so Wayne Yoakum voted no.
Okay.
Barry Luffman, obviously, he voted yes.
Sure he did.
It was his resolution. Dennis Gillespie was absent.
Okay.
Roy Dale Hagan voted yes. Jonathan Bradley voted yes. Chris Sutherland voted yes. Travis Caldwell voted yes. Ricky Skillington voted yes.
Okay.
Randy Brewer voted yes.
Right.
Delano Benefield voted yes. Scott Franks voted yes. Philip Heatherly voted yes. And I'm glad he did, because I might have not took some cars to him if he had. I don't have car payments. I got Philip Heatherly payments.
Okay. That's funny. Philip will call in now.
Yeah. David Ray voted yes.
All right.
Sandy Newton voted yes. Tammy Wisdom voted yes. Shane Eaton voted yes. Tim Clifton voted yes, and Will Burnett voted yes.
Well, you know what? From the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for doing that, standing up for freedom. And I guess some people, Lawrence, will look at that and say, well, it doesn't matter. What does it stand for? I think when we look at things that are symbolic, or we look at how we have learned from our past, to me, seeing these individuals come forward and get behind that as our county commissioners shows what we've learned through COVID. COVID, 2020, devastating times for a lot of people. And I'm not going to say that COVID's not a real illness. We know folks have died from COVID. We know people who were sick with COVID. But if we could not come through a situation like that and learn from it, that would be even more devastating. And seeing that these individuals in our county, these are our friends. A lot of these
Yes.
people are just our close friends. And to see these folks standing up for our freedoms here in this county, that's where it starts. And if we want to drain the swamp of all of these unconstitutional edicts that came out during COVID, right here is where it starts. This is how you crack the drain at the bottom of the swamp.
It starts with our own hometown.
That's right.
And I mean, Brandon, you know that I don't think there was too many people that was affected by COVID more than me.
Right.
I mean, I lost 60% of my family in 2021 alone.
Right.
To COVID.
Right.
I seen it. But you know what? Here's the crazy part about it is all three of the people, one of them, which was my own father, my uncle, and my first cousin, they all wore masks.
Wow. Okay. So anything else on that county commissioner meeting that was interesting to you?
I mean, there was numerous things that were going on. A lot of it was kind of boring, but I will say this. I see a very fiscal, conservative county in how they vote and how they are expending money.
I agree.
And again,
And I think this Tennessee state as a whole, the way they are conservative and the way they spend money, I don't agree with everything that comes through the state of Tennessee and their finances and how they spend our money. I don't think you could ever get it to where we would agree on everything. But overall, I have to say we have a good state and we're solid. I think there are those that are wanting to work to dissolve it, destroy it. They hate
Yes.
it. And that's why you and I have talked about this for years. That's why we're getting involved. And it's kind of funny you and I are sitting here on a radio show tonight after we've had this many conversations at the table with a cup of coffee. And now here we are. This is easy for us, picking up some show content. It's like, I don't even think I need to even do anything. You and I could sit down and fill up an hour easy. But overall, I think we have a solid state. I think there are those trying to tear it down. That's why we want to get involved. That's why we're trying to get people involved in our county here.
yes,
That's why we've had meetings in our Senate district. Our GOP, the Lawrence County GOP, has called for meetings. You set that up, and we had 8 counties involved. 5 were present, and 3, we're trying to find out after the fact what happened. Being present, being involved. We're seeing another meeting coming up in June. We're going to be in Pulaski down there with Chris Morris and his group. Looking forward to that. And he's expecting to pull in about 13 counties, I think, in that meeting. So we're wanting to bring these counties together because I don't think that Lawrence County is alone in being conservative like this. I know Wayne County is very conservative.
yes,
And I think getting together and pulling these things together, I've been talking to Lewis County. I've been talking to some of the folks over there in their GOP and trying to get connected with them because I don't know them that well, but they are very conservative as well. And I think we've got to combine these counties, and my goal, if I'm going to be leading this, is to get 30 counties. If I could get 30 counties involved, pull in 1/3 of the state, I think that would be an awesome goal for us to hit and start really pushing back on some of this illegal legislation that's trying to come out, unconstitutional legislation.
absolutely. And I tell you, thank God for Kip Capley and Clay Doggett.
Amen.
I mean, these are warriors for Lawrence County.
We got a call coming in?
You have a call.
All right, so we've got a call in. Go ahead, caller.
All right, are you there?
Can you turn them up a little bit?
Can you hear him?
Barely.
Oh, put your headphones on.
Okay. I don't have any over here.
Hold on.
Yes, I can hear you. I got the headphones on.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Who are we talking to? Hey, Jerry. Yes, sir. Hmm. I agree. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, they have. And Jerry,
Thank you, Jerry.
you mentioned that the meeting when we had Senator Capley and Doggett, or I'm sorry, Representative Capley and Doggett, and we also had Paige Wally, our senator, there. And that night, I think the best way to end that night, that was a terrible day for those guys, but I believe the Lawrence County Republican Party actually gave them a standing ovation. And we actually had a chance to actually embrace those guys, to give them a solid, hey, we're behind you. We're praying for you. We know this is not easy, but you're not doing this alone. You're doing it for us. And we had a chance to thank them. If they had to end that night anywhere, I know being with their families is always going to be the best, but if they had to be sitting in a political venue, I believe sitting at the Lawrence County Republican Party, I believe you could ask any one of those guys, and they have no regrets of being there that evening. So I thank you for the call, Jerry. You're an awesome
Thank you.
friend. I love you, buddy.
You too, buddy.
So yeah, I mean the meeting last night, Lawrence, was tremendous. I thought we had a great amount of feedback on that. So I'm going to skip on into something else. If anybody else wants to call 766-9393, we want to hear from you. I've got headphones on, so you don't need to make me put these headphones on for no reason. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we want to hear from folks that were there. We got a call. All right, we'll go ahead and put them on. Hell, thank you for calling. Go ahead. Yes, sir, you're on live. Yeah, go ahead. Can you hear me?
WDXE.
I think we got a bad
You
Can
got
you
a
hear me?
bad connection.
Yeah, you got a bad connection. Can you? There you are.
That sounds a little better.
Yeah,
Go
sounds
ahead.
better. Go ahead,
What's
sir.
your name, sir? What's your first name, sir?
Yeah.
Well, I hear you fine. Go ahead. Well, we're glad you were there. Thank you for serving your country, Terry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How many meetings have you been coming to? Was last night your first night? The fourth or fifth? Okay. Well, I mean, Yeah, we're losing you there, Terry. Can't hear you very clear. I heard you say that your wife found out about the ladies' Republican Party meeting. That's been something that's really kicked off as well. I hear
Yes,
you
sir.
fine. Yes, sir. Hey, it's worth it to live out in the country, though, isn't it, Terry?
Yes.
That's right.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Well, Terry, too many times in the past, I'm going to speak for myself and probably a lot of other listeners out there. We elect people and then we kind of go about our day-to-day business and we don't think about them again until we see something on the news or hear something around the water cooler at work or at church. Someone mentions legislation and perhaps we don't even like that legislation and we get involved too late. And hopefully getting this Republican Party started up here in a different way, going down a different path is where we're going to be watching. And I even use the word micromanaging. We should be micromanaging our government. This is
Yes.
very important. And I think that what we're doing here and doing now is we're watching and creating a venue to where we can microscope it a little bit. Things get passed, things happen, and we look up and it's happened, and then someone comes and tells us about it, and we hate it. And that's typically where we are as Republican voters. I see that over and over again. We are the hardworking, we are the blue collar, we are the ones that are paying the bills, we pay the taxes, and so we're out there in the workforce. And then things get passed and we're not watching. So I'm glad you're there, Terry. What do you think about the meetings? Anything we could do better? Sure, we understand that sentiment. That's right.
Yes, sir, it is. That's right. You are 100% right. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. I agree with you 100%.
I just want to come over your house and ride around with you.
That's right. If our federal government can own it, then we should be able to own it as well. And that's what the Second Amendment is. Yes, sir. Well, that's why that is one of the reasons why we're involved. And I'm going to tell you, that's the other great thing about living in Lawrence County is we have a sheriff, John Myers, that is a constitutional sheriff.
That's right.
And that man came to our church in 2020 during COVID and told us that he will never be a sheriff to shut the door of a church, nor would he ever take a gun from a citizen. And that is our sheriff, and we have to be behind him, and because he is there to protect us. He actually can come in between us and the feds, and that's yes,
That's right.
yes,
That's correct.
and we got one of the best.
It
Yes.
is. It
yes,
is.
and we got one of the best in the country.
We have a great sheriff here. John Myers he's tremendous. He is a constitutional sheriff, and that's correct, Terry. Anyone who doesn't know this, that might be listening in, they may not know the role of the sheriff in a county, but your sheriff protects your constitutional freedoms. He is elected by the citizens of the county. And so he's not appointed by a governor. He's not appointed by anyone else. He's a different kind of law enforcement. The rest of the law enforcement is employees that have been hired on, but the sheriff has absolutely been elected, and he stands in the gap against tyrannical government to protect our freedoms. And John Myers does that, and we appreciate him.
Yes, a lot, and I want to bring up this subject too when we were talking about what's happened with the red flag laws. People. We have got to be there August 21st in Nashville. We have to be there.
I'm going to be there.
Yes, we've already discussed it.
Absolutely.
But if you're listening to us, the other side is going to do everything they can to disrupt it and to pressure our legislators and even our governor to try and pass laws that are against the Second Amendment just because it feels right. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think it has anything to do with feeling. I think it's calculated. And it's what communists do. And in the 20th century alone, we had and this is the low end, we had over 200 million people that were killed due to governments coming in and taking people's guns, and then when they disagreed with you, they killed you.
That's right.
And right now, Tennessee, we are one of the most conservative states in the country, and they hate us.
They do.
And they are coming against us. If there's any time that we have to show up, it's going to be August 21st. I'm just telling you. August 21st, everybody that's listening.
Good.
Good.
We agree.
No, No, it doesn't matter, and frankly, from the people I'm talking with, Bill Lee has a very short window to withdraw this, or he is going to have a tough time ever getting elected to anything again. But maybe he's done as a politician, and this is his last thing that he's going to do. But if he keeps going down this road, and I will say any of our other representatives, Senate or our House, goes down this road, early voting will start August 21st.
That's right. That's right. We're going to start early voting on August 21st. Hey, Terry, I want you to do me a favor before you get off the phone. Make me a promise that you're going to call in again. We need people to call in. This program belongs to the members of the Lawrence County GOP. This is your program. This is your opportunity to call in. This is going to go out there. It gets sent to a lot of representatives, state senators. It'll even be sent to congressmen that'll be hearing this program before it's over. If you want to get your voice heard, you can call in. I'm going to put the number out there again, 766-9393. Thank you, Terry. Call us again sometime, buddy. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're going to dedicate an entire program to that.
Yes.
We're going to have a lot of time invested in that in the future.
Yes, sir.
God bless you, Terry.
God bless you.
It's awesome hearing these people calling in, and this is what we're hearing every time we have a meeting, Lawrence. You know that.
Yes.
I think we got another call. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're on the line with Brandon Taylor and Lawrence Sutton.
Yes,
yeah, we
sir.
hear you. Go ahead. Can you turn him up a little bit?
Hey, Travis, how you doing, buddy? Well, we were just actually talking about you.
We appreciate your vote last night.
Sure.
We agree.
Yes.
It does. And that sends a message back to our future governor, whoever that's going to be. We got
Yes.
Bill Lee now, and there'll be someone else coming in place. But this starts setting a precedent across the state of Tennessee as we have you folks, county commissioners, and not just in our county, but in other counties that put forth these type of resolutions, these statements that go forth, they're voted on unanimously. That shows where we stand as a state, and that helps to chart the course forward. If we have another pandemic, which who knows, we could have another one. I know a lot of people believe
Yes.
this could be we could see another one of these. We're preventing unconstitutional edicts from coming in and ripping our freedoms away. The Constitution is never temporarily put on hold, Travis, and you know that, and we do too. And that's why you guys are up there doing that. Man, I can't thank you enough. And I think it's pretty awesome you called in and gave Caleb Savage a tip on that. So that's good. I'm glad you did that.
Yes. So let me ask you, yeah, Travis, let me ask you a quick question on that. Okay, let me ask you, okay, let me ask you a question on that. When that was happening, and I know you have access to what happened with our money and everything during that period of time, but if I'm not mistaken, Lawrence County had some record years during the as far as money coming in, because we stayed open and we kept our businesses open. I know me personally, I shopped probably for a year and a half exclusively in Lawrence County and in Murray County, and did not go to Davidson or Rutherford or any place else because of all these edicts and mandates. Are you aware of did we or did we not have more money coming in during those periods of time? Yeah, I'd be interested in on that.
This county did have a increase in income that was coming in because people kept their money local.
That's right. But we
absolutely.
stayed open. People stayed open.
Sure did. Travis, thank you for calling in, man. We appreciate you, and thank you for all that you're doing for Lawrence County. You guys are out there, and you don't get enough pat on the back. Everyone's got something bad to say a lot of times, but and, okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
We agree.
Yes. All right. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you. God bless you, man. That's great, having some calls coming in from even from county commissioners. That's exciting. Again, if someone else wants to call 766-9393, we're talking about our county commissioner meeting that happened last night. We've had a county commissioner call in, a couple of folks that were there at our Republican Party meeting last night. And on the red flag law, Lawrence, I'm gonna mention something. We've talked about mental health, and isn't it funny? I mentioned earlier the double standard that Democrats always take. You have this Marine, Daniel Penny, who's been charged with second-degree murder for actually holding or subduing a man on a train in New
Correct.
York, okay?
Yes.
And I know we've all heard this story, and I'm just recapping it real quick because I know all the people in our circle know the story. He subdued Jordan Neely, and then the Jordan Neely actually died as he was being subdued or sometime thereafter. Now, we don't know what was in his system. We don't know what was going on. The other passenger on the train said that he was acting erratically, threatening people, saying he was ready to go to jail, ready to die. And turns out he has a rap sheet. He has been arrested 42 times. You have a gentleman, this Daniel Penny, and I've noticed they keep calling him the former Marine, which in my opinion is slanderous toward the United States military. Why would you keep saying that? They don't keep saying, well, he played football in high school or he was on the wrestling team. It's always bringing up the fact that he was a former Marine, not even a current Marine. He'd been honorably discharged out of the military, and he subdued this man. And it's amazing how Jordan Neely died. And all of a sudden the Democrats have come out and said, well, mental health is not against the law.
So let me tell you why that is. You have, and it really boils down to this. It boils down, you have two types of people. You have people that love this country, and you have people that hate this country. And I'm going to tell you right now, the ones that are sitting there and they want to slander our police, they want to slander our military, they feel like that this is not a good country and they hate this country.
That's right.
They do not love this country. This country that was given to us by God, that we in turn gave back to God.
They do hate. They hate our freedoms.
They do.
You know, I thought it was a great statement Richard Archie made last night when he said, you know, they'll come in and say, well, you're a threat to yourself, you're a threat to other people, and they'll come to your house and they won't take your chainsaw, they won't take your butcher knife out of the kitchen cabinets. Don't take your car. Don't remove your right to drive. Your privileges or driving privileges remain. The only thing they will take from you will be your firearms.
So 2 days after we had the Covenant shooting in Tennessee, we had a gentleman that took his car in Texas and killed 8 people with his car. But nothing was ever mentioned on that.
Sure.
And, okay, the same people that want to take your guns and say that we want to protect our children are the same ones that are behind the killing of 60 million children since 1973.
Okay. Well, I think we got another call. Go ahead, you're on the air, the Lawrence County Republican Party show.
Hello?
Are you there?
Go ahead. What's your name, sir? Can you hear us? Turn your radio down and talk on the phone.
No.
Hey, go ahead.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Go ahead. Hey, Dave, how are you?
Doing good, David. How are you?
What's going on this evening? Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we hear you.
Can you not hear us, Dave?
I don't know what's going on here.
Well, go ahead, Dave. We can hear you.
Yeah. Well, just say what you have to say. I'm sure that people on the radio can hear you.
Whenever you first started the Republican Party meeting, I told you I'm going to come and observe.
Okay.
I said, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to comment or nothing. But through the years, I'm sure people just like me have about all they can stand of the Democrat Republican stuff. I mean, I was to the point to where I didn't want to hear it no more. But I did come and observe in the meeting, and I think I told you afterwards. I said that was good.
Yeah.
You're on the right track, brother.
God bless you, Dave. I'm glad you've been joining us and glad you're a part of it. So what's your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
The DFA guy, I mean, that dude just amazed me. I mean, he has absolutely got the Constitution memorized.
Yes.
He does. He is awesome.
I mean, he could quote stuff that, I mean, I thought, how is he doing that?
And he's 70 years old, too.
That was that part of it. And Lawrence said there a while ago you had some people that hated this country and you had some that liked it. Well, the ones that hate the country, there's a lot of them in office.
Yes.
Yes, they are.
All of this stuff about the border being wide open, the media is not showing what's actually going on. They are busloads, and they're turning the red states blue. They ain't gonna need 2,000 mules at the next election.
No, and actually,
They're bringing their votes in right now.
yes, and
It's all under disguise. Your media's not covering it. I mean, it's pitiful, but if people just coming in and sitting down and watching the national news, they're not gonna know what's actually going on. They're gonna have to dig. They're gonna have to research for themselves. They're gonna have to research for themselves and find out what's going on. Because if they don't do nothing else, I would like for them to research the Clark and Pittman strategy, 1966. I mean, I ain't gonna go into it, but it's easy. You got the Google right at your fingers. Clark and Pittman, 1966. It failed, but the reason it failed then, it was they tried to do it local and within the states, and it didn't happen. You let these borders stay open another 6 months, you're gonna see Clark and Pittman on steroids.
Oh, we cannot tolerate these borders staying open the way they are.
I can't hear nothing y'all are
No.
saying, but
Yeah,
I've
we're-
said my piece, and I appreciate y'all doing your radio show. It's good.
Well, thank you,
Thank you,
Dave.
David.
We know you may not be able to hear us. We're working on that, and we appreciate people's patience. This is a new project that we're taking on here at the radio
Well,
station.
somebody's listening on my phone and says I'm way ahead. I don't know what's going on, but
God bless you, Dave. We love you, buddy.
Thank
for
you.
getting involved in the Lawrence County Republican Party. Keep it up.
all right.
Well, I mean, Lawrence, we're hearing it over and over again, and it's awesome on my end to It's awesome on my end to get to actually see so many like-minded people coming together. You know, because if you just watch the news, as Dave was just saying.
There we go. You have another one. Let's see.
Okay, we got another. Let's try another call.
right.
Go ahead. You're on the live. You're live on the air with the the Lawrence County Republican Party. I'm sorry.
Hello, fellas. How you doing today?
Doing good. Who's this we got?
This
It's who? Can you get to a better area? We can't hardly hear you. You're breaking up on us. Hey,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
we live in Lawrence County. We understand.
Yes, we do know about the cell phone.
We know this phone call is coming from Lawrence County.
That's right.
If you're at my house, go out on the back porch.
Yeah.
Can you hear us? What's your first name, sir? Jacob Dale.
Hey, Jacob, how you doing, buddy?
That we have a group of people to go on the 21st up to our state capital and make a show for our representatives to let them know that
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, Jacob, but I know you're saying you want people to go to the Capitol on the 21st? Yeah. We still got a little bit of a weak signal,
We do,
Jacob, but you're saying that we need to get back to this country. We agree, and we're going to be there on the 21st, and I intend to be up in the balcony area. We would like to see a group of people go. I'd like to see a strong support from Lawrence County going up there supporting our representatives, Clay Doggett, Kip Capley. We're going to be there.
Yes.
And I would like to see a lot of my neighbors and my friends right up there in that balcony together. I think this is doable. We're going to have to get there early, though, Jacob. And we were telling people last night, go ahead and mark it on your calendar. And I know you have, my friend.
Yeah, and this is extremely, extremely important. I can't stress it enough how important it is because we're about to lose rights in Tennessee.
That's correct.
And this is the defining point, in my opinion.
Jacob, I want to thank you for being a local pastor and being involved and being willing to stand up. And a lot of pastors don't want to get involved politically, but it's time that we get our churches involved in the politics.
Yes, absolutely.
Country back in the founding stages of this nation that this places where this country was blaze and revival, and that was in the churches and in the bars, and that, I'm not advocating for us to go back to the bars.
Right.
I'm definitely advocating for the churches to reclaim their position and influence.
Jacob, I wanna point this out, and it wasn't pointed out last night. Do you know that the first shot heard around the world in the Revolutionary War was fired by a pastor? Yes, a pastor fired the first shot. A pastor led his church to hold off the redcoats.
Yep, that's amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Jacob, I want to
absolutely.
thank you for calling in, man, and promise me one thing. You're going to promise me you're going to call in again. I want to hear from you again.
Thank you, buddy.
God bless you, my friend. I know we're getting close to the end of our hour, unfortunately, and it just flies by.
I know.
We didn't get to touch on a lot of things, but I do want to tell folks that in our next meeting, which is going to be in June, we're going to have, the topic will be school choice.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to have the Beacon Center of Tennessee down. We're working on that, trying to get them lined up for sure. We haven't locked it in positive, but they've let us know they want to be here. We're going to be talking about school choice, and that's another area that we didn't even get to touch on. But hopefully we'll get into that some in our next week. We're going to be here on Wednesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. and just bear with us, folks. We're working through some of the technical difficulties, but I think we're going to get better all the time.
No, it's fixed, so.
All right, I think
good.
Yeah, we're just keep working on it, getting better every day.
We got another caller.
All right, go ahead, real quick.
Okay.
Go ahead, you're live.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we hear you.
Hi, this is Jonathan Chun, and I just wanted to say that I went to the GOP meeting last night and how much I actually learned from y'all's GOP meeting last night.
That's awesome.
Our GOP meeting, and just I want to encourage anybody listening to stop complaining and actually stand and do something.
Amen.
I want to encourage anybody listening that if you're tired of the inflation, if you're tired of what's going on in your schools, if you're tired of rhinos and doing red flag gun laws and all that, come to the GOP meeting and actually make a difference.
You know, thank you so much for that. And I'm going to pat you on the back a little bit, Brandon, you know, and I know it's not just you. I mean, it's all of us that are involved. But Kip Campley actually told me last night that our meetings are the best meetings that he goes to on any of the other Republican meetings. And I'm not just talking about the counties or anything, but he just says meetings as a whole.
That's awesome.
That is what Kip told me.
Well, you know, I'm not going to take any. It's our team. We have an
Yes.
awesome team. But when we start putting together a meeting, and Jonathan, I'm so glad you joined up with us.
Yes,
man.
sir.
You're like-minded, just like us. But when we start looking at putting together meetings and putting together programs, what we stand back and say is, what would we want as an individual that's sitting at home, throwing stuff at the TV, angry? What kind of meeting would we get out of our house and drive to town, come to the courthouse and have a meeting over? And that's the type of topics and the material that we've been putting out there. So, Jonathan, you're right. When you said it's our GOP, that's correct. It's our GOP. We're in this together. And thank you so much for calling in. Will you promise you're going to call in again and talk to us again sometime, Jonathan?
I sure will. God bless y'all.
God bless you.
You know, real quick, Brandon, I just want to touch on something because, you know, everybody is looking at, oh man, these bad things are happening and nothing good's happening. But, you know, today we had the Fifth Circuit Court strike down the pistol brace.
I know it. Isn't that awesome?
It is extremely awesome. Now, of course, the other side's going to go and fight, and it's eventually going to make its way probably to the Supreme Court. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Maybe they'll see the writing on the wall and stop throwing the crap on the wall to see if it sticks.
I don't think so, Lawrence. I believe that we're going to be pushing back against bad gun legislation until they finally take our guns away. So if you don't push back, then they'll take them away.
If you do not push back, that's the thing. If you do not push back.
But when we push back on these things, we win in these cases, in these court cases, that sets precedent for things moving forward. And when they try these things and throwing stuff against the wall to see what sticks, I love it when it doesn't stick, because that really does solidify our freedom in this country.
Yes.
So I know that we're getting right on the end of the show, Charlotte. So I hate to end it, but how much time do we have left?
Couple of minutes.
We got a couple of
Okay.
minutes
All right.
left. Well, Lawrence, I want to thank you for all that you do. You set up a great meeting in our Senate district. We had a great time there. Met a lot of great folks. We're working, for those people that are listening out there, our goal is to get a third of this state to come together. And I believe we could do far more than that. But
Yes.
as soon as possible, let's get 30 counties together. We're already on the same page. We were in a meeting in Murfreesboro a couple of weeks ago. I was with the county leaders of the GOP, and I noticed there was a gap between the county leaders and our state level, the SEC, and they're doing a great job. These folks are volunteers. They work hard. I'm not throwing stones at anyone, but there was a gap. There's a communication gap. So when I came home, I got with Lawrence, and Lawrence, you went to work on it, and we started contacting other counties and getting it together, and because we recognized right out of the gate, we are in agreement. We're like-minded. We're sick of what we see in this country. We're sick of what we see in the state, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
I'm not happy with some of the things
No.
I see with the Republican Party. I didn't join, folks, because I love the Republican Party. I joined because I want to change the Republican Party.
That's correct. And the Republican Party happens to align more with the Christian values than any other party that is out there.
And we said it last night. If in our county, no expectation without participation.
That's correct.
If you are not participating, then just don't expect anything. But if you will get out there and get in the seats, actually participate, show up, you have to be there. Your face being present is huge. And the older generation recognizes that, Lawrence. This younger generation, I think that's why it's hard to get some of them involved in our meetings. They want to do everything on social media, and that's great. And I hope this show goes out on social media and we can reach folks. But we have to get people to show up. And so that's why we've been pushing for a dues paying membership with the Republican Party.
Right.
Picked up almost 20 people last night. If we could do that every meeting, we need a couple of hundred folks being dues paying members, and let's push this out there. We'll have our state reps. We're going to have our next governor. We're going to be pushing our congressman. And I don't want them to just come and know where Lawrence County is. I want our representatives to know who the citizens of Lawrence County are.
And that is why we are doing what we're doing is not only for the citizens of Lawrence County, but also our children and our future grandchildren.
Absolutely.
You know, if the Lord doesn't come back, we're going to have grandchildren eventually. And I think that is very important to get involved. And I'll just say this, you're not going to have a better deal than $5.
That's
a
right.
$5 membership fee to join the Republican Party and come out to our meetings. We don't want your money, but we do want your participation, because if we do not have your participation, then we're going to fail.
That's right.
And Ben Franklin said it the best. He says that you can either stick together or you can hang apart. And people, I'm telling you, we're about to hang apart if we do not come together.
Well, working together, we're going to stop communism in this country.
Yes.
And I believe we're going to have to fight against communism until the Lord comes back. I don't think this is going to be there's not going to end date on this fight. There is a great evil that works in this world. We see it. We see it on the news. We see it in violence. We see it in crimes. We see it trying to infiltrate our schools. And so we're going to stand back against that. And if folks come out and join up with us, get in the middle of what's going on, stand up for freedom, stand up for your rights. It's going to matter, and we're going to win. We're not going to lose. We are winning.
That's right.
And I want to say a special thanks to your family and my family for giving us the time from them to come out and actually be a part of this. And all the other volunteers that we have, there's so many of them, the Cunninghams, Jared Menz, his family. I want to speak about Cindy, be praying for them and her husband being sick. Thank all these folks that have actually worked hard to bring this Republican Party to what it is, and we're moving forward, and we're just getting started. That's what I tell folks. It's just getting started.
Well, I will say this. I couldn't do any of this without my wife, Victoria, and my 3 children.
Amen. You couldn't do it without Victoria. I'll say that.
Oh, yeah. yeah, the incompetence knows no bounds.
Well, thank you, Charlotte, for giving us a little extra time. You're awesome. And, I want to thank everyone for calling in. We hope you start calling in every week. This is your show. It belongs to you. And God bless you. God bless the state of Tennessee, and God bless the United States of America.
Amen.